It was November of 1177, where the freezing cold of Mesopotamia awaited the defeat of Saladin's forces in the hands of a 16-year-old boy suffering from leprosy. But how could such a young, inexperienced boy defeat an established commander like Saladin? Let's find out. The same year, most of the crusader forces were north to attack Seljuk strongholds at Hama and Harim. Saladin knew this was the right time to strike. He galloped towards Ascalon along with his undefeated, undisputed army of elite Mamluks to conquer Jerusalem. When the news of his march towards Ascalon reached the kingdom of Jerusalem, despair spread in every heart, as there was no one who could be considered a worthy opponent for the king of Egypt. The 16-year-old Baldwin, whose skin was fading away with every breath he took, was considered too young and immature to deal with such a massive force. Yet he didn't hesitate to confront the Muslim invaders on their way. He rallied with 375 knights to Ascalon on his horseback, along with Reynold of Chatillon, Balian of Ibelin, and some other nobles to defend his kingdom. He was more skilled than men who were older than himself in controlling horses and in riding them at a gallop, says William of Tyre. In November of 1177, Baldwin arrived with his knights to Ascalon just before Saladin. He came there to tackle the Sultan, but realized he was outrageously outnumbered. This left him and his knights trapped in the city, while Saladin had a clear path toward Jerusalem, with only small garrisons in his way. The Sultan left part of his battalion to maintain the siege, while he advanced with most of his troops towards Jerusalem. Considered as the most fatal mistake of Saladin by most modern historians, which led to the devastating defeat at Montgisard. Acknowledging the threat of losing Jerusalem, Baldwin issued the Arriere ban, and townsmen began to gather by his side. After he had gathered enough men, he carried out a sortie and vanquished the soldiers maintaining the siege. From then onwards, the crusaders began shadowing Saladin's scattered army. But fearful of Saladin's numerical superiority, the crusaders still couldn't risk an open battle. Balian of Ibelin, who knew these places as the back of his hand, guided the crusader force and succeeded to maneuver and lure Saladin's troops to the place he wanted. A marshy area, where numerical superiority became more of a burden than an advantage. The scattered, stuck and clueless Ayyubid army tried its best to form for battle, but didn't manage to do so in time as the Frankish knights executed a full frontal, heavy-armored cavalry charge at the center of Saladin's battle lines. It was a massacre as everyone ran in panic and chaos. The impact was immediate and devastating, creating a wedge, breaking the enemy formation. Faced by the rout of his troops, Saladin found shelter in the heart of his elite Mamluk guards. The Frankish knights and Templars regrouped to break this last line of resistance. They broke down the Muslim lines, cutting through the Mamluks and reached Saladin, who narrowly avoided being killed during the clashes by escaping on a camel. It was a complete slaughter of the Ayyubids in the hands of Baldwin IV, who emerged victorious at the age of 16. What might seem like an unmendable defeat was replaced by a glorious victory at Hattin, which is cherished by Muslims of the entire world.